Welcome to Volume 11 RockTalk Podcast, brought to you by Volume 11 Music. Your hosts, Rich Hoffa, Rick Lawhorn, and Mark Dunn. RockTalk, Volume 11 Music.
Hey, this is RockTalk at Volume 11 Music in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I'm Rich.
Rick Lawhorn.
Mark Dunn.
All right, in today's episode, we're going to talk about MTV, the good, the bad, and the ugly, bands that really benefited from MTV, genres that benefited from MTV.
Not everybody benefited from it.
And not everybody got the fair shake of the stick. And from what we've been talking about earlier, sounded like there was a little bit of payback or vengeance going on.
Animosities that I wasn't aware of.
Marco's stories about that.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, we're going to have Volume 11 Music. We're working on a brand new website. We said that in the last episode. It's getting closer to being done, so it'll be live here in a week or so, and we'll have all the inventory. It'll be real time, so it's going to be fantastic for people to see what we have, but also purchase it online. We ship stuff all over the country, also we've got a great sale going on, 15% off PRS SE model guitars in stock, and we ship those as well, so you can check them out on Reverb or our website or what have you, or stop in the store. We'd love to see you. Everything doesn't need to be done online today. You can come in, sit down, play the guitar,
hang out with us.
So, hang out.
That's right, with the crew here.
Yeah, that's right.
Got our cool Volume 11
That's
shirts.
right. We're all dressed the same.
Shop in the three-dimensional world.
That's right. That's it. So MTV. I can remember when it first came out. I didn't even have MTV.
Nope.
I had to go to my grandmother's
I
house.
got my friends.
I remember sitting there for hours waiting for a really cool video to come on. I mean, literally hours. And of course, they do the metal stuff or rock stuff in the evenings. But so I'll let you guys kick it off on bands that really performed.
The lead-off hitter here, as they say.
What channel was it for y'all up here?
I don't even remember.
It was like 39 on the cable thing.
22.
Which is,
The only reason I remember that is
39. Yeah.
I was the family's first remote control, so
Yes, I was too. Yeah, but I can remember only having 3 channels too, and then having to smack the TV inside to get the TV
turn
to
the
quit
antennas
making crazy.
my tinfoil hat wasn't because I'm a conspiracy guy. It's because I had to stand like this with a hat on.
Yeah, right.
Is it good yet?
Yeah, channel surfing was us standing there flipping the dial. Dad sitting back, turn on channel 5, channel 2,
Turn it.
UHF, put it on UHF.
Right.
Find some things there. So what do you want to break it into?
All right. So late 1981 is, I believe, the starting date for MTV. I was not hip to the party right away, so I remember hearing kids in high school talking about MTV videos. So probably by early '82, I had some friends of mine where they had the cable, so we'd go, like you said, hang out and see these videos. And most of the things I saw early on were what we would call basically like British new wave kind of music. So the first batch of videos I remember was, Adamant. There was an Adamant, so I don't even remember the song.
Don't drink, don't smoke.
Might have been.
What do you do?
Yeah. That was like around 80. Well, I don't know, 80, 81, but the video was 82. And was it Madness? All house.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street.
Dexy's Midnight Runners.
And it was all kind of Britishy.
I know.
Not like Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin British rock, but more like early
They were
80s.
never on it.
No, never. I mean, I never saw any of that. So that early phase, everything was kind of more along the new wavy side. And every now and then we would see, maybe a hard rock video. I think AC/DC did have a video for You Shook Me All Night Long.
Yeah,
for those about to rock.
And then that hit. So I do remember that. Then it seemed like the first big hard rock video that really took over, I think, was Quiet Riot with Metal Health.
Yeah.
When that came out, that got played all the time. So that was the first time in '83 where you're seeing this on a regular rotation versus all house in the middle of the street.
Yeah, and then you had Headbangers Ball. I still have VHS.
That didn't come till later, though.
Yeah, I know.
I
have VHS. I remember sitting there because I got so sick of it. Of course, when we were making it, making the tape, you're sitting there at the radio station with your finger on the pause button, waiting for that song to come on, and clicking it. And I would do the same thing with the VHS tapes to record videos.
That's a cool video.
So I still have VHS tapes of all these bands that because I got tired of sitting there all day waiting for a good video to come on. So I just wait. I'd create them, put them on VHS, and I just pop them in when I wanted to watch videos. But we were talking about bands that really did well, and I just watched the documentary Nothing But a Good Time. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about this, kind of spurred the conversation today, but the Winger, with Beavis and Butthead,
they
destroyed their career.
Killed them.
And so you guys got more stories about that.
I don't think that MTV...
And I didn't think much of it. I mean, I know that Beavis and Butthead were ragging on them a little bit, but I loved Winger. They were a great band.
And they're really good.
I mean, look, Rod Morgenstein,
Red Beach's a great guitar player.
Yeah. You want me to tell that story?
Yeah, that's a good Mark's story.
So
great.
I would be fair and say that Nirvana was the shot heard round L.A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or the shot heard round here.
Bell was a death bell for...
And so I think that was already setting in.
Yeah.
So when Mike Judge came up with Beavis and Butthead, and this was a story told to me by Nick Bocott, who was in the band Grim Reaper, who was also victimized by Beavis.
Yeah, they didn't like his band either.
Right. I mean,
I like Grim Reaper.
But here's the thing about Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead resurrected the career of what's the guy that makes all the movies and the scary thing that had this.
You're talking Rob Zombie?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they did like White Zombie on there.
They were like, White Zombie was almost going to be done.
Yeah. Right.
And then that video came on, and you had, yes.
So
like that literally resurrected them.
It did.
So it's kind of funny how literally lampooning counterculture helped make that band, helped make Rob Zombie. But to the point of Winger, so evidently they did, because the impetus of Beavis and Butthead, for those that don't remember, literally started as kind of like a Siskel and Ebert cartoon that would either like a video from a band or just completely joke a video from a band. And it was quite funny. And so they didn't like a video. They were joking of Winger video.
Yeah.
And Winger, Kip evidently called up MTV and said, what are you doing? Like, fire that guy. I was pissed off at Mike Judge.
Mike Judge, the creator.
And so evidently Mike Judge says, oh, really? So he made the characters that lived next door.
Stuart
and the mom and dad.
The mom and dad,
all be the nerdy, not so cool, characters, and they were wearing Winger t-shirts. And I'm like, God, case closed, And it's funny, and at the same time it's a shame, because that's the kind of power that MTV, by not even showing videos in their form, had over a band in the music industry without even trying.
Right.
And that was really interesting.
Because Beavis and Butthead had like a Metallica and an AC/DC shirt, so those bands rock, cool, that's just rock.
And when they would show something from Britain, like some synth pop, I mean, all you
Yeah, they weren't big on the synth rock.
So I mean, and it was funny. I mean, there's not one episode of Beavis and Butthead that I didn't put me on the floor laughing.
Well, it's just kind of funny because it was about a week ago. I was sitting there looking for stuff to watch throughout my infinite amount of channels that you got thousands of channels, never can find anything to watch. So I go, you know what? I haven't watched Beavis and Butthead in 20 years. I'm gonna throw it on, and I'm sitting there just rolling in the floor. I mean, it's so funny. I mean, it's so stupid that it's just. I was in stitches rolling on the floor. I was just
so
laughing.
dumb. It's great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's crazy. And you want to laugh, watch the show, but yeah, I think the whole era of early MTV. I mean, and I heard bands that they hated. Some bands hated doing all the videos and stuff, but I don't know. I think it was fun because it was a story.
They kind of had to with the record companies. And
right.
Like, you got to make a video.
Yeah.
And you weren't going to go anywhere without having. And the journey of just getting your song added to a radio station.
Right.
And then the radio station starts going, well, do you have a video for the song? Because they didn't want to be, radio stations look at broadcast time like real estate, and they're not going to waste real estate on something that's not being cross-marketed.
Right.
And from the advent of MTV, my favorite style videos were just the performance videos.
Yeah.
Like, because all we had up until that point, there was some stuff that we could see on TV. We saw vintage Hendrix stuff.
Yeah.
Things that might even be on PBS, things like that. But I would, all you had was the album or a tour book.
Right.
And all of a sudden MTV, especially for those performance videos, made it almost two-dimensional, or in video, like, okay, I can see this at home. And really, I think ticket sales were probably already pretty good, but what I saw the MTV do in retrospect is that the same person that would go to Journey also went to see Van Halen 38 Special, Dio, Iron Maiden, Quiet Riot, maybe Air Supply.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everybody went to every show.
Yeah.
There was a lot of homogenization. I use that word again. And so MTV became something that made or break. And all of a sudden, bands that we'll never ever hear of were laid to waste because their budgets with the record label were gone because, Sweet and Nasty had a record coming out, and now they had to allocate another $100,000 for a video, which was made with real film, Panavision, a movie set, and like that changed the game big time.
Well, it's watching the Nothing But a Good Time. They had Brian Forsyth from Kicks on there, and he was talking. They were talking about Nirvana's impact on it. And he goes, it happened. They were talking about how quickly it happened.
Overnight.
It was overnight. He said they were in there shooting a video. And halfway through the video, they're in there shooting, and, and it's like our story at Renato's.
Cut. We're done.
Halfway through, they go, we're done. No production. It's over with. We're going another direction, and it was that quick.
Yeah,
that's
they got kicked out of their own video.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's cold blood when that happens.
It is. Nobody wants that to happen.
No.
Well, what about like the Christopher Crosses of the world, who had the biggest
not a good-looking guy
in Face for Radio,
not a good-looking
and he
guy.
had like a ton of hits, but all of a sudden once MTV takes off, the MTV does not want Christopher Cross on a video.
I literally thought about him before this because when the topic because that's a perfect example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because MTV, it was one thing to have an image beforehand.
Right. Yeah.
And images were almost caricatures. Elvis was a caricature to walk out on stage in that outfit, whatever. But when you had MTV hit, you had to either have a persona that was mysterious, or people didn't care that you weren't good looking. Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, because they were already superstars.
Superstars.
Yeah,
or if you were new, you had to be pretty or mysterious or both.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Susie and the Banshees. Really couldn't see her face.
Yeah.
Not being mean. There was a reason for that. But she was mysterious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had guys the androgynous look beyond David Bowie. You had the Cure come out. They're not pretty. So what do? They embrace it and put makeup on.
Yeah.
And I don't mean kiss makeup. I mean let's be. So that was you had to be almost outlandish visually to even get the music across. And then what we also had happen was within no time you had bands that were then musicians that were then writing music that became less organic in that they were writing a piece of music with the video in mind,
right?
As opposed to just letting the music flow. And I think that might have, subjectively damaged the music business for a minute or decades. So. It's just if you're writing music for a video, that's something you definitely do for like an advertisement for a car.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Like a jingle.
You're right, or a jingle, but not, so that kind of was interesting to me. But the budgets alone, I've done a couple of country videos with some artists, and the budgets are still high, but not anywhere near like they used to be, because now you just pull a card out from the camera instead of having to load film.
Right.
Crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, piece things together.
And editing is way, you edit this video.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's gotten that's the thing with video and stuff like that. It's gotten a heck of a lot easier, and people are doing it in their house. You can do it with your phone. You can.
There's videos on phones.
Oh, there is.
Literally,
for sure.
Yeah, released videos.
Well, the quality that's there is, it's good.
Yeah.
So it's really changed. But I still like MTV went the whole direction of all reality stuff, and then you've got your little side channels that'll have the music videos and stuff like that. But I think it was a really cool era to be a part of.
I thought it was good. Like in '83, '84, they did a lot of the Friday, Saturday night concerts too. I remember seeing like Richie Blackmore and Rainbow.
Great. Yeah.
Ozzy. I remember seeing Ozzy one time, and I think might have been Brad Gillis was briefly playing with him on guitar, you know. And it was cool, you know, because at that point I wasn't able to go to all the actual concerts per se, but to be able to say, hey, they're going to show Ozzy's concert here. And
well, it was cool too because I mean, you know, before that, you know, you had like Don Kirshner's rock concert. You had the
Night Flight on USA.
Midnight Special, I guess, was one of them. You know, you had to stay up till midnight to watch, catch some concerts and live concerts and stuff, and then all of a sudden you've got and it wasn't 24 hours at the beginning too. So it was.
But you know what was interesting too? Right before that, that was going to happen. MTV was going to happen because that summer previous to it coming online, the local there was a local radio station. K94 was the FM dial, and ZAM 11 was the AM dial. And on local Cox Cable Channel 11 access from 7 to 7:30 every night, they did a simulcast, which were typically performance videos.
Right.
But one of them was like Pretty Woman, which got banned. The MTV wouldn't show.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And live concert videos, mostly rock stuff.
Yeah.
Every night for 30 minutes, I'm like, this is great. And then lo and behold, you know, MTV pops out and the rest is literally history.
Yeah, right. Just kind of
for sure.
But you know, to my favorite band, Van Halen, the walk-on they did with David Lee Roth at the MTV Music Awards in '96, which is like forever ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
They made them do because they were releasing a greatest hits
first
up, best up,
and
they said if you want any, and they were going to do a video for one of the new tunes that Roth had sang. You don't get any. You're not going to get any MTV support if you don't do a walk-on at the MTV. I mean, they still held that kind of power.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking the biggest band in the world at that time, arguably.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're like, okay, we'll do it. I mean, seriously? That's crazy.
And that was a pretty much of a fiasco that night.
Total. And they never did a video for
that was it. They never
band.
did the videos.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought the greatest hits on the day of release. It had the new songs on it with Roth.
Yep.
And of course, it had like just different ones from all.
And there was also a giveaway with that. But I mean, so the giveaway of a guitar was driving sales of actual CDs. This is long before streaming.
Yeah, no.
But the fact that MTV could hold Van Halen's feet to the fire, to do that,
I mean, at that level,
it's crazy. You know?
And kind of nowadays, I mean, of course, I can't remember the last time I watched MTV.
Right, a long time.
I don't know what channel on the dial it is.
It's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's not even really about music anymore. It's MTV, but it's got nothing to do with any kind of music. I mean, other than this little side channels or the little shows that they put on. But it really, I don't think any of those shows make the main channel anymore.
And also the personalities. There were a lot of personalities created.
Right. Well, you had the VJs.
Well, and the only one that I can think of that's doing anything in media is Kennedy, because she's on Fox Business.
Fox,
right.
And so good for her. But it's I mean, those VJs were as much a part of our culture and music as the actual musicians were. No, Carson Daly, because he did. Isn't that his name?
Yeah,
he did the Daily something.
He did.
Oh, okay.
And he's on I think he's on ABC. But those VJs and those MTV personalities were almost as de facto famous as the rock stars themselves.
Right. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, you look forward to certain VJs and the stuff that they would. Probably didn't choose what they played, but they would have those different genres per the DJ and things like that. So. But yeah, real cool conversation. I think that'll wrap up this episode of Rock Talk. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video. All that stuff helps getting us out there to more people. And if you'd like to submit a question, we would love to answer questions and see what you think of the show. That type of stuff.
Depending upon the question.
Yeah, exactly. We have to keep a certain standard here with the questions. But so don't forget to support your locally owned music stores and your local musicians. Everybody's out there working hard to bring good content. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Good thing I haven't woke up yet.
This is a morning.
We're doing this in the morning. We usually do it in the evening, and of course, this is way before Mark's usual time.
I'm gonna go home and go to bed.
Yeah, he's gonna go to bed. He'll be back at 5:36, and
the morning edition.
We got him up for the morning edition. So
I know. I just stayed awake.
Yeah, he's been up all night.
No reason to
drinking coffee and doing 5-hour energy shots.
Back in the day, that was the reality.
Yeah,
that was
right.
True.
It was. No, we did that.
It was true. Yeah. stay up all night. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
This has been an episode of Volume 11 Rock Talk Podcast, brought to you by Volume 11 Music.